Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and I'm glad to be here and glad to have you here as well. A lot of stuff getting ready to happen, and today's alert was all about the pre-election market action, what to expect. So it's going to be an interesting day today going into tomorrow. And I'm going to try to lay out what to expect for the upcoming week as far as earnings and news that's affecting individual stocks. And we're going to do a little bit of market timing today. On Mondays, I have been given the green light to do a little bit more from a market timing perspective. So we're going to do a little bit of that just to get some preparation. Oh, can I say that, Joey? Joey's here. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Yeah,
I guess you can say that.
All right. So as I can see, a few people did watch the International User Group. I was on it with Stan Heller and David Paul, and I gave an overview of what the Derby was all about, and that it's not just a day trading tool, that it could be used for position traders, and showed the flexibility and the power of the Derby from that perspective as well. How is trading for charity doing this year? I'm not in that VectorVest 7 account, but Patrick's going to be on tomorrow, right? You can ask him what the portfolio is doing. So he will be on at 12 o'clock and on Tuesday and 12 o'clock on Friday for the trading for charity. You guys need to come out and support him. This is a good cause. It's a good cause, and come out on Tuesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. to support him. Sonny says, I watched you, Glenn. You done good. Well, I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. It was my pleasure to be on Stan Heller's show on Saturday. It only happens once a week. Once a month. And Joey was there in the background working on Saturday. He works hard for the money, don't you, Joey?
I sure do, Glenn. I sure do.
Well, whatever. All right. So let's start off with what's going on in the market. As you can see, we've got a red light in our color guard pricing column, but the main color you see overall is yellow. We're still telling you to be cautious in the market overall. The market is mixed. As you can see, the market jumped out the gate bigly and then very quickly retracted and pulled down. So I want to spend a little time about what's going on in the market currently and what to look at longer term. So from the home page, I can see a mixed market. I can see that from the market open. All right. I can see that put me on the other screen that I had, Joey. That shows the home page. Can I not do that? I'm showing the home page. No. I want to show more of the home page. There we go. So as I look at the advance to decline of stocks from the market open, we can clearly see that more stocks are going down than going up when the market jumped out the gate this morning. All right, so now with that being said, the guidance is showing that we need to be more cautious coming up on pre-election, which is tomorrow. Let's go to the market timing graph. We're looking at real time, the VectorVest composite. We see the jump up early this morning. What should I invest in short term? Nape, I got something for you. I got a whole section of this live stream where I'm going to show you what to look for short term and what to look for long term as well. So here's the gap up this morning. We very quickly faded the gap, started on a trend line going up, and look at right now, we just broke down through that uptrend that happened after the big collapse from earlier this morning. This is real time what we're looking at. There you go, Mark. Thank you for tuning in, even though you're on the road, my friend. I appreciate that. All right. There are several, so you guys are talking to each other. Got to keep the comments short, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, if you watched the Derby presentation, I did talk about a day trading timing signal that the Derby offers. And we had a down arrow. If you were day trading, we had a down arrow that hit about 9:45 this morning. And then we went to an up signal, day trading, at about 11:18 this morning, went yellow, went back up, And currently we are in a down signal, day trading signal, since 11:40 this morning. Now, in order to get this day trading timing signal, you have to have the Derby. It's called the DTI, or the Derby Timing Indicator, and it will initiate day trading signals for those people who are more aggressive and want to learn to use the VectorVest system from a more aggressive day trading perspective. We do have day trading timing signals to help you. All right, let's put this on more of a longer term. Let's go look at a 3-month graph. Give us, again, a feeling of what's going on. Here's from the August high, downtrend, a little bit of sideways action. We're back in a little bit of sideways action as well, but here's our most recent swing high on the VectorVest composite, sitting at $54.56. We're currently below that, and we're below a level of support that was just recently drawn at 53.55, and a down day today. So what does this mean going forward? Well, everybody is looking at what the Fed is going to do. The Fed raised the interest rates by another 3/4 basis points. What is he going to do going forward? I still think that going into the end of the year, if he's still doing it, it's still going to be at that 3/4 basis points. And remember, I told you in a video, I need the Fed to show me that he was going to slow down. How many of you, and even from what he just said on Wednesday, how many of you think that he's ready to back down a little bit on the raising of the interest rates? Type a 1 in the room if you really feel that he's got the wherewithal to either pause it or bring it down. Type a 1 in the room. If you think that he's just going to keep on going, doing what he's doing, type a 2 in the room. All right. As you're typing that, wow, that he's going to keep on doing. There we go. I was looking to see about how many 2s were going to come up. I am on the mindset of 2. Why? Because inflation is not getting anywhere near where he needs it to be to show that it's under control. So my longer term picture is still bearish. But will we get those opportunities to bounce and take the market up? Now, Lou brings up a great point. When the market does have these little bit of reliefs, what are they being relieved with? They're being relieved with 2 industries, and 2 industries only, and that's oil and energy. And you know something, that's why these rallies don't last very long, and the market turns back and goes into the longer term picture of being a little bit more bearish. That is just the way that it is. Now, my oil companies are doing well with the fluctuating. I'm still in WTI. There's no, I'm very transparent about that. I'm doing very well with my WTI stock at this particular point in time. The VIX has been going down at a steady pace since 10-12. So what are we to make of the down market with the VIX going down? And that's a great question. I'm going to ask another question, and I've asked this question more than once. How many of you feel that this market just does not feel right? Given everything that's going on and given what VP just said, type a yes in the room if you feel that this market just does not feel right. And everything that should be happening is not happening. Things like with the rising interest rates, banks should be making money, but they're really not making money. All right. So if you honestly feel that something just is not right with this market, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to get in where you fit in. Right now, I don't think we fit in at anything. This is a very abnormal market. Abnormal. Whose brain did you get? Some Abby. Abby who? Abby normal. Oh, great. So I think that now Paul says, but it starts feeling better after tomorrow. You know me, I don't want to do the politics thing, but I think that if there is a change in leadership, that's going to have an effect on the market. Now, I'm a big fan that should not be. The market should be the market. Politics should be the politics. And, depending on, I think that people feel a sense of giddy if they feel that the leadership that's in place fits in with how they feel and blah, 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 blah. All I really want to know about a company is it a good company that makes money, that grows their earnings, that produces a good service or product? That's all that I really want to know. I don't think that the politics of the world or the country should play a role in what stocks do. That's my opinion in regards to that. That's because you have a Fed being hawkish and the White House being dovish. You know something? You don't want to. It's hard to have opposing opinions behind the White House and your Fed chair. And I think that the Fed chair just knows what he needs to do to make it all happen, and that's where we stand. So I honestly think that with all of the volatility in the market, you're going to be susceptible. I mean, we put this back on intraday 1-minute bars, current day. You're going to be susceptible to big swings in the market. Remember, folks, I'm looking at 1-minute bars here. I'm looking at 1-minute bars, and the market is really all over the place, up and down and up and down. But going back to putting my DTI, did I not share? I didn't save it. Anyway, the Derby will give us day trading signals to use if you're a little bit more aggressive. Glenn, how did you turn on the DT down and up arrows? So Ron, because I have the Derby, I can go to add parameter. Right here, if you're in intraday 1-minute bars, you have to be in intraday 1-minute bars, you can click on the DTI, then I can click on bullish and bearish. I can put them on, and then if I want to see the up and down arrows, go down to where our calls are, click on it, and you will have the DTI combo, and it will initiate green and red arrows throughout the day. Now look at this, is very interesting. How about for those of you who are Derby subscribers, all right, how many times have you seen both DTIs above our trigger point of 1.2? If this is abnormal to you, type a 1. All right, if you think that this is part of regular market action, type a 2. But this does not happen very often. Both DTIs are above the value of 1.2, telling me that this is not a normal market. And even from a day trading perspective, both bullish and bearish searches are rising to the top of the list, which I'm not going to show the Derby here. But from a timing perspective, a day trading timing perspective, it makes it very hard, even from a day trader, to know what side of the market to be on. That's why, again, I look at the 3-month graph, and the 3 is above the 8. We add a level of resistance. We got another level of resistance. There's a lot of things going on, and I think that after tomorrow's election, the market may settle in one. And I think that if the leadership does change, I think it gives a boost to the market. But inflation hasn't gone away. The hawkish Fed hasn't gone away. Those things will still be there. So I think it'll be a quick bump. But overall, if I'm looking at the market, let's put this on a 1-year market, folks. That's the market. That's the market. All right. So I think that with all of the more negative news than anything, the market still long-term has a way to go down. All right. So with all of that being said, folks, I wanted to touch a little bit on market timing to give you a feel of what to expect. I think short-term, depending on what goes on tomorrow, we may have a nice little bump in the market. But if it's only spurred on by oil and energy, I don't think that that's a long-lasting bump up in the market, especially with everything that's going on. If you agree with that analysis, type a 1. If you think outside of that and you think something totally different, type a 2. All right. If you agree with that analysis, type a 1. But if you think outside of that and you feel a whole different way, type a 2. All right. My job is to bring to you what's going on in the market. My alert today was a sense of giving you what to expect prior to the elections happening tomorrow. And if you like what you saw as well, you know me, I always want to get to at least 100 likes before we leave. Hit that like button, folks. Hit that like button. My job is not to bring politics. My job is just to bring to you what you need to know as an investor in the market. And I'm going to help you to find some stocks to do that as well. All right, let's get into my news stories. All right. And from that perspective, let's go look at, it's an economic quandary, and the Fed sees only one way out. The market moves come amid the confirmation that the labor, and this is a big part of what's going on in the market and what the Fed is doing, the labor market is still strong. And if it is, then, in order for the Fed to stop thinking about raising rates or pausing, he's got to see a different story in the labor market. So and I think the only one way out is to continue to raise interest rates. Now, here's some news about some stocks. I'm thinking that um, the focal point of COVID is about to take off again. And we'll see with that. Biotech raises COVID vaccine revenue guidance despite a dip in quarter 3 results. I think that we're going to see a lot more stories about COVID kicking over again coming into the colder season. That could be a bump for Pfizer, for BioNTech, for Moderna, for Novavax, all of those companies. But it's interesting, and Patrick has talked about this on more than one occasion, that a lot of people are not even using the vaccines. So I don't know how that's going to play out just quite yet. But BioNTech sees future that they're going to bump up. This is an interesting story, right? And I've asked this question on more than one occasion. Retailers have a new holiday headache. People are spending their money on travel. And I think that that's a very interesting story because I've made mention of it on more than one occasion is if everybody is feeling the effects of a recession, why are people spending the money on travel? The travel stocks are moving, whether it's the cruise lines, the airlines, the hotels, they're all looking at record bookings. But if the people are spending money on travel, are people going to still spend money on Christmas? How many of you feel that the recession, how many of you are not going to buy as many Christmas gifts this year because of the recession? Type of 1. If you're going to keep on the same path that you've been on for, the past years in regards to Christmas, type of 2. How many of you are going to, that recession has hit your pockets enough that you're not going to be buying as many Christmas gifts? Wow, a lot of people. Interesting. So now I ask the question again. If a lot of people, no Christmas this year, says Fireblazer. And then I've got a lot of 2s coming in. My biggest question is, how do you complain about inflation? I'm hearing stories that eggs last year were like $1.50 and this year they're up to $4. And if you're spending, and I've got a story that talks about 2 retailers, 2 supermarket retailers, and the differences in the prices. If that's the case, how are we spending money on travel? Oh, I know how, because we're putting it on our credit cards and we are going to probably break the bank. Absolutely. I think that that's what's going to happen. We're going to buy now and worry about it later. A great man once said, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. I hear you, Sonny. And you know something? I think that that's the kind of thinking that people are thinking about right now. All right. Fireblazer says he's going to start a chicken farm. That may not be so bad. All right. So, interesting story I wanted to bring to your attention. How about this? This is just a bad stock. Carvana stock posts worst day ever as outlook darkens for used vehicle market. Well, you know something? You would think that people would be right now more in market for a used car than they would for a brand new car, again, with the recession. So it's interesting about this stock. I think that as the recession starts to hit people's pockets a little harder, Carvana may just pick up. And right now it's been slammed. It may not be a bad stock to look at to keep on your radar because I think that the thinking is going to turn around as the recession hits more and more pockets. So I'm just thinking about that. All right. Abby is here. Abby, type a yes if you're in the room, Abby. No. And I don't care how shy you are. You need to type a yes in the room if you are here. I'm going to stop this whole live stream until you type a yes in the room. So, Abby, if you don't hurry up and type a yes, everybody in YouTube land is going to be waiting on you. So, Abby is not going to type a yes. But anyway, Abby is a good friend of mine. And I've always said to her, you need to come watch my live streams. And it looks like not only did she watch the live stream, she subscribed to the channel, even though she didn't type a yes in the room. It's all right, Abby. I'll talk to you on Sunday. All right. So Carvana, I'm really thinking that Carvana may be a stock that's been beaten up, But if the ideology changes from, this recession is really smoking me in the pocket and I need another car, Carvana may not be a bad play at this time. All I want you to do is just keep this on your radar. Here's another one. Disney may come out on top in streaming, but key questions remain. So we looked at Paramount and Warner Brothers reported earnings, and it wasn't all that great, but people are thinking that Disney may do better once they report Tuesday after the bell. We'll see. I'm thinking that the streaming altogether may take a hit because of recession. People are going to look for the places to cut the fat, and I think that streaming may be one of them. I just moved from cable to streaming cable, which is kind of interesting because now I didn't have to put the cable wire into the back of the box. It's just using my internet, which I think is an easy way. And I can watch it wherever I am because it's a streaming app. So I do like that. But I still think that more and more. And Joey, how many streaming programs do you have? Can you count? How many of it do you have? One stream from two or
Probably like 10.
I'm with Joey. I got a lot. I've got Netflix and Paramount and HBO and Stars, and I got them all. And at some point in time,
YouTube TV,
Disney, I got all that.
ESPN.
How many of you have 5 or more streaming programs? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you out there have 5 or more streaming programs? Carvana is Carvana's worst enemy. Their prices are ridiculously inflated, and that's one of the many reasons they're tanking. So, D. Westermeyer, inflation is affecting the whole car space, right? But if you can buy a lower dollar used car, I still think it's a lot less than buying a brand new car, right? So Glenn is rich, says Fireblazer. Joey thinks that too. Joey thinks that I'm rich. Joey thinks that I'm a rich kind of guy, but how about this? I'm not rich. I'm blessed. How about that? That's the way I look at it. Used car prices way too high. Bad time to buy. There you go, W. Phillips. How much do you spend on internet TV streams? My wife says we spend about $200 a month because it's all in her name, but I pay that bill. She says we're paying about $200 a month in all of the streaming combined. Selling a car to Carvana is great, all right? But what's the other side of that is buying the car, right? Buying of the car as well. I hear that Ford stopped advertising due to low inventory. Bless us all, Glenn. You've all been blessed. Walk in the light of the sun, and you now all been blessed. Amen. All right. So I just blessed you all. He is rich in faith and hope and love. Amen to that, Thomas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, baby. Woo! All right. Another story. When this recession first started, I said there's going to be a few things that companies are going to do to keep the bottom line in the black. One of them was going to be buying up other companies like Walgreens just did here. There was going to be buybacks of stocks. I think that they did a lot of that last quarter. So I don't think there's a lot of buybacks still left to do. And then the third thing is that they were going to increase their dividends like the oil companies have, right? The oil companies have been making a lot of money. The White House thinks that they're price gouging. I'm all about, this is called capitalism. There's a product, they have it, the demand is high, you can raise the price, all right? And that's straight up capitalism, and that's what we're all about. So it is what it is. I got a business, I'm a DJ. And if I get in high demand, what can I do? I can raise the prices of my services, right? It's called capitalism. So those are the three things. But so Walgreens bought a Summit Health, a $9 billion deal. I think that the space of healthcare is been doing very well during all of this recession stuff. People still need to go to the doctor and they still need healthcare, right? Carvana is a zombie company and can't pay their loans. I still think based upon, all right, this is just, again, I gave you my opinion. It may not be a bad play if the thinking moves more from buying a brand new car because of the inflated prices rather than going to buy a used car. And they still may be inflated too because of inflation. But were you willing to buy a new truck for $15,000 or a brand new truck for $50,000 or $60,000. And therein lies my thinking about Carvana. As stocks get cheap, companies, mergers, takeover will happen. Absolutely, Ramor. And that's why I said that during this time when the recession first started, that was one of the things that companies would do. Now, talking about inflation, Walmart versus Kroger. All right, I did a recession-proof video a while ago, and the stores that I was looking at through a recession where people would go was like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, those kinds of stores. But Walmart is still the biggest retailer for food out there, right? The biggest store. Kroger is a lower price, lower dollar store compared to Walmart, I think. I need to look into that a little bit more. But I want to go down to this. Walmart versus Kroger. Horizon Omega 3 milk, half gallon, $4.46. That's a lot of money for milk. Joey, I know when your wife goes out to buy stuff, has she complained about the prices of food? Oh my gosh, Joey, why don't you answer me faster?
Yes.
Okay. Compared to Kroger, though, at $5.99, it's cheaper to go to Walmart. Honey Nut Cheerios, $3.48 compared to Kroger at $2.99, so it's cheaper at Kroger. When you look at fresh fruit, and a lot of people are jumping on board with the fresh fruit part, $1.98 for a 1 pint, but $3.49 at Kroger. Glenn, sir, missed you at the jockey today. It's not the same without you. Thank you, Ravi. I will be on probably Wednesday and Thursday. I'm off Friday and I'm off next Monday. So we're trying to see what we're going to do next Monday, if we're going to have a midday market or if we will not, one of the two. All right, because I will be off this Friday and next Monday. But if you look across the board at a lot of different things that people are buying, it's cheaper to go to Walmart as compared to go to Kroger. All right, Walmart is still the biggest retailer out there for food. Kroger brands are horrid, inferior copies of real food. Wow, so Roger's bringing it to the head right there, saying, don't go to Kroger. All right, Friday is your birthday. Happy birthday, Mark, ahead of time. Long weekend for Glenn. Yes, I'm going down to South Carolina for a 4-day weekend. Gotta love it. I think, where are we going? We're going to, I think it's Tybee Island. You guys ever heard of that? Tybee Island? I think that's where my wife said we're going. So we're going to do some Tybee Islands. I was like, what are we going to do? She says, I don't even know yet. So that's where we're going for the long weekend, for our long weekend next week. So a couple of stores, and just bringing to the forefront, you're heading to Charleston. I don't think we're going to be too far from Charleston. No, we're going to be closer to Savannah. I think we're going to be closer to Savannah. That's where we're going to be. Pay attention to the weather. Listen, if it's rainy and stuff, we're going to be at an Airbnb. We're going to be chilling. So let it rain. Tybee Island is in Georgia. Is it in Georgia? Down by Savannah. All right, so we're going to be in Georgia then, but close to Savannah. A bit of vacationosity for Glenn. How many of you saw my birdie putt on my Facebook while I was in Tennessee this weekend? Woo! It was a birdie putt. It was a nice, good birdie putt. All right, last story. This is a stock that I want you to keep your eyes on. I am always try to be on top of stocks, especially from the medical perspective. Shockwave confirms a consistent outcome from its IVL in the largest prospective real-world study of patients with heavily calcified peripheral artery disease. I like stocks like this that have good upside because they're helping the community in diseases that need help. So I like stocks like Shockwave. I want you to keep your eyes on. I like stocks like Senseonics for diabetes. There's a lot of good lower dollar stock. Well, Shockwave is not a lower dollar stock, but there's a lot of companies that are out there on the medical side that you just need to keep your eyes on because they're making advances in a lot of different things. Take firewood just in case. What are you guys going to do if it rains? Mind your business, Sonny. Don't be trying to get all up in my business. Don't worry about what we're going to do when it rains. All right? Don't worry about that. All right, so those are my stories. Those are my stories for this week. Let's get into the software. Let's get to the viewers tab. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Let's go look at what's going on with the indices now. back and forth with the high volatility in the market is just going back and forth and back and forth. Russell 2000 is flat. The Dow is up, not by a ton, only up about 0.7%. The volatility, the VIX is up above the value of 20, not as high as it has been recently at the value of 30, but there still is a lot of volatility in the market. The Qs are flat, and our VectorVest composite is up about 0.1%. So the biggest mover in the indices today happens to be the VIX, the volatility in the market. And I think coming into the election tomorrow, there should be a rise of volatility, and we'll see what happens after that. Let's go to big news. Here's my big news stories that I just looked at. Let's go see what stocks are in there. There's Pfizer, there's Biotech. Both of them are in there. Biotech saying that they've got good forward guidance, up over 2% today. Pfizer's down about 0.5%. Here's Kroger and Walmart. I think that if I'm looking at these, though, I think that someone said they didn't like Kroger a lot, but Kroger does have better upside for the relative value as compared to Walmart. Walmart's a little safer than Kroger. Here's that stock about the heart calcification dollar deal. It's not a cheap stock. It's way overvalued. But I think that the onset of what they're encroaching on for the heart and artery and stuff is something for you to keep your eyes on. Walgreens, they bought out a company, nicely moving up today. In regards to the streaming, Disney and Netflix both down. I still think that the streaming services are going to be under some selling pressure, especially as people feel the effects more deeply with the recession that we're going to. So I do like, yes, Richard, I do like this stock for the purposes of what they're encroaching on. All I tell you is just keep your eyes on that stock. Let's go look at all of the stocks here. View the stock graphs real quick. Let's take a look at them. These are all my stocks from the big news. Let's go look at these on a 3-month graph, though. Put them on a 3-month graph, longer term. Pfizer, look at that rebound, stopping at a resistance level of 48.41. How about the VectorVest software will automatically draw the line for me? Look at that. Beautiful level of resistance on Pfizer. Let's go see if it can break above that. I still think that COVID stories are going to increase as we get into the colder months. There's Kroger, beautiful level of resistance as well. The 3 is above the 8, but consolidating right now. There's Biotech. So Pfizer and Biotech, look at that. Biotech just broke out of a level of resistance from 143.46. Nicely moving up on volume. RT is above 1. The stock became a buy. This is why I bring these stories to your attention. This may not be a bad play, especially as we get into the colder months. We look at this stock. This is that healthcare, big time in a channel, but the ensuing news that it has with the real live tests could be a blast off phase for Suave. Just keep your eyes on it. I'm not telling you to buy it. I see today's wick right at a level of support at 267.30. It could be setting up. The 3 is still below the 8 right now. A stock to keep your eyes on. Walmart, it's just a stock that everybody's, going to buy their food and da-da-da-da-da-da. And up day today, notice that on the pullback, the 3 and the 8 held. I'd like that a little bit longer term as well. Wow, Walgreens nicely moving up off of this low. The 3 crossed below the 8, broke above a level of resistance, sitting close to the 3-month highs, not that far off. I like the acquisition. It makes the stock a little bit more attractive to bring more people to the stock. As I look at Disney, notice that as a stream, well, in Disney, streaming is just one portion of what they do, right? Just one portion of what they do. Is the streaming really pulling the company down? With everything else, what they have with Disney World and others, they have ESPN. I think they have ESPN and WABC. Is the streaming enough to pull it down? Right now, it's retracing from a level of resistance, pulling down. It does have some downside to at least a price of about $90.47. All right. And let's go look at the last stock, which is Netflix. Man. And I bet you if I look at Paramount and I look at Warner Brothers, a lot of these are going to be starting to fall as people start to cancel their subscriptions to these streamings. All right, earnings coming up this week. A lot of stocks reporting earnings. Good, googly moogly. I only brought up the bigger name stocks going into Wednesday. Thursday, I'll have more on the way of on the earnings side, but a lot of companies reporting. Occidental Petroleum, we all know that Warren Buffett has been buying into it. DHI for housing. There's some stocks that I want you to pay attention to. I think that one of the spaces to look at this week is going to be the electric vehicle space. We're going to look at some specific stocks. I got a watch list for those. A lot of them are reporting earnings this week. All right. So the safest stocks in the list are stocks like DHI, Take-Two, Nintendo, Fang, Wendy's. All have relative safeties above 1 with good earnings growth rate. These are companies that should meet or exceed their earnings expectations. But the other side of it, folks, is what is going to be the forward guidance. I think DHI is probably not going to have good forward guidance. Fang, on the other hand, may have good forward guidance, being that it is an energy company. ATV, Activision, Modern. Hey, Joey, have you played Modern Warfare 2 yet? Joey? Sigh. Well, whatever. I haven't played it yet. I got it booted up so I can play Modern Warfare 2. But we'll see if that's enough to push that. They just came out with a new update to it, or Modern Warfare 2 is the new update. We'll see if that's enough to move Activision higher. If I'm looking at the stocks that have the best upside potential out of the earnings, Diamondback, oil companies. Look at that. Oil companies have the biggest upside. Looking at all of these, I do love this stock as a shipping company. Looking at INSW, it's a great company. See, blah, 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 all the way through. So there's a lot of companies that are reporting earnings this week and things that you just need to pay attention to. Let's go see what the fastest industries are. Let's go to finding Delta Search's industries. Let's go see what industries besides oil and energy that are moving. Now, Boyle, be careful with Boyle. Man, I'm going to talk about that in a second too. But Boyle, playing Boyle or cold, both of them are 3-time leverage. When they're up, they're up. When they're not, they're not. So it's tough. There's so much volatility playing Boyle. When you're right, you're right. But when you're not, you're not. How about looking at Deltas 10 days ago and then the past 10 days? Machinery, oil, machinery, construction, mining. Let's go see what stocks are in there. See if I can find you some stocks that are moving now for you to keep your eyes on. Let's go put this on the top 5. Let's go see what's in here. Caterpillar. Let's graph these real quick. So this industry is on the rise over the last 10 days or so. Caterpillar, nicely moving up. Down there, I wouldn't buy it today. Tex, look at that. Bottom left, top right. I like the move. ASTE, down there, wouldn't take it. This doesn't trade enough for me, not enough trading, and that's moving down. So I did like, out of all of this, I did like TEX, and Caterpillar looks good right off the 1-month high, but just a down day today. But I like the strong 3-8 movement. All right, let's go find me another industry that's like transportation rail. Oh, transportation rail. Only 2% in change in RT 10 days ago. Look at over the last 2 trading weeks, though. 45%. Let's view the stocks in that industry group. Wow. I like being able to find what stocks are moving outside of just oil and energy. Wow, look at this. Let's go graph these all. Put these on the last 1 month. I like CSX. Bottom left, top right. Volume is pretty stable. 3 and 8 look good. Bounced off support. A little bit of indecision day today, but CSX, I like that. WAB, I do like that. Look at how many days above the average volume. 3 and 8 are solid. Just broke through a level of resistance. I like that. NSC, I like that. This one's sitting in a channel that doesn't have enough volume to trade. So a couple of industries that are moving outside of just oil and energy for you guys to keep your eyes on. Commodities will be affected by recession. Absolutely. I read yesterday that the semiconductor market has gone from scarcity to glut. What's the outlook? You know something? Let's do this. Let's go look at the industry. Semiconductor. What is it? Petroleum. Let's go take a look at that industry. I like looking at I still think that the semiconductor industry may not be a bad place to be. What is it? Median, internet, home. What is it? Something semiconductor. It's not computer. I don't think it's computer. Dang it. I got to remember what it was. Auto. No, let's sort this again. I think it's electronic semiconductor. That's what it is. It's electronic semiconductor. Electronic semiconductor manufacturing. Let's go look at the industry graph. So that's a good question, Roger. Let's go look at the 3-month graph on that industry. This is the semiconductor manufacturing. What is it doing? Ooh, it's still a tough space to be, Roger. All right. Still a tough space to be in. Gordon, I think transportation shipping is another great one. That's why I like that stock, INSW. That's another great stock in a shipping, transportation shipping. So if I'm looking at the semiconductors, the manufacturing, it's a tough spot to be in. Let's go look at semiconductor equipment, view the industry graph. Again, that was a great question about semiconductors. So you were looking at the news, right? All right, so the news is telling you one thing. What is the analysis telling you, Roger? All right, and that's why you have a tool like VectorVest. So I look at semiconductor equipment is moving sideways. Then manufacturing, though, is moving down. So that was a great question. And again, by way of the tool, we're able to look for those kinds of things. All right. So we looked at a couple of industries that are on the move. Where's the money going today? The industry ETFs. Let's talk about that. What's the biggest move today? I think it's going to be natural gas. There it is. Natural gas is the biggest mover today, up 9.7%. Uranium. I'm also playing this stock, URA. I still think that from an alternative energy perspective that nuclear energy is going to be a way to go. So I'm playing URA. Energy is just a good stock to play in. Those are the top 3 that are above 1%. Where's the money not going today? Utilities. Copper, you said commodities are going to move. Well, copper is not it. Gold's not it. Oil right now is not it. Overall, it is, but today it's not. So there's where we stand. The money today is going into natural gas. But I will tell you, if you're playing Boyle, 1 minute it's up, the next minute it's not. And you're right, Ramor. Nuclear has to grow. It has to grow, and it will. But I'm thinking and I'm watching the news that more and more countries are coming online or in line to build more nuclear reactors and nuclear power plants. Uranium is going to play a big role in that. All right, speculative plays. You know me, I always short term. You wanted something short term. I'm going to give you something short term from speculative plays. Normally, the fundamentals are not good, but these stocks are in uptrends. All right, here's shipping. You were talking about shipping. There's shipping. Here's a bio company. Let's take a look at these stocks. All right, so fundamentally, these stocks are not good. But if I'm looking at a 1-month graph, new 1-month high on FTI Petroleum. The volume looks good on it. Remember, fundamentally, these stocks are not sound. But for those short-term people, I'm giving you some stocks to take a look at. Another petroleum stock, NE. New high over the last 1 month. Next stop, DHT. New high over the last month. Loving some of these stocks for you to keep your eyes on short-term. Retail supermarkets, a different play. New high over the last month. I am watching the volume fall. Be careful with that. But definitely bottom left, top right, 3/8 have been in play this whole time. And here's a drug biomedical, new 1-month high. Volume is pretty stable. But again, bottom left, top right. For the person that asked me about the short-term plays, there you go. I give you speculative plays every week to keep your eyes on. Let's go look at my speculative plays from last week. I didn't have any in there. Okay. So I wanted to see how they worked out. There was none. My big movers today, I'm going to bypass that. Let's talk about, I like to get you in on some biotechs that have some catalyst 3 or some catalyst information that can move it. Here's my stocks for today. A lot of these are sell recommendations, but I've got catalyst information that's going to probably hit between this quarter going into first quarter next year. So these are stocks that, take a picture of these. These are stocks that I want you to keep your eyes on because they do have some catalyst news on them. Let's go look at my biotech stocks from last week. I had a few stocks in here. Make sure these are not the same one. SLS. I don't think that these are the same stocks. They better not be. Nope, they're not. All right, so let's go to the weekly biotechs from last week. Let's take this back a week. Let's see if any of these stocks made any big moves. Let's go back to the 31st, 1031. Let's quick test them all. We're down, but we outpaced the market. We were only down 0.3%, but a couple of stocks. SLS was up 11.5, 11.75. INKT, a few stocks were up. One stock was down about 20% though. All right, remember, like I said, that these are stocks that have some catalyst information. Some stocks it paid off on, some stocks it did not. We were down about 0.3% where the market was down over 2%. Hey, George. All right, so I'm just keeping that in mind. What else do I have? No day trading picks today. Something else that I wanted to do. On a weekly basis, I'm going to also give you guys value plays. If you're a value investor, type a 1. If you're a growth investor, type a 2. All right. I'm thinking that on a weekly basis now, I want to give you both value and growth plays. If you're a value investor, type a 1. If you're a growth investor, type a 2. I want to see where your head's at. I want everybody to answer, though. I want everybody to answer so I can get me a good, it's a mixture. I was wondering if it was going to be a mixture or if it was going, Gordon says 1 and 2. That's a good answer. All right, but so I decided that, Roger, stop. How are you going to be both? Does that mean 1 and 2? So if you're typing in a 3, that means you're 1 and 2. All right, so options player. Well, I don't have no options for you. I'm not going to be able to do any options for you. But a lot of people, there is a mixture between the value plays and the growth plays. So I'm going to provide for you on a weekly basis 5 value plays and 5 growth plays. My value plays are always going to be stocks that are undervalued. All right, have good upside potential. Fundamentally, this should be fine, and they've got good earnings growth, positive earnings and good earnings growth. So these are my value plays for this week. I'm going to put these on a 3-month graph. You got to like that. These are going to be value / swing trade plays. All right. Nicely moving up. Another petroleum stock, nicely moving up. Now, keep in mind, and these are all undervalued. How about steel? Reliance Steel are right at the 3-month highs as well. And drug wholesale, McKesson, up. Look at that. Nicely up. And I do like the move on this semiconductor as it's starting to move. So we just looked at the semiconductor space. We weren't real thrilled about it. But from a value play, here's KLAC, nicely moving up. I do like that. The 3.8 are solid, just broke through a level of resistance. The volume is pretty steady. As a value play, I like it. All right, if you're liking the whole idea of showing value in growth plays, hit that like button, folks. All right, let's go look at my growth plays. Now, these may not always be undervalued. All right, these may not all be undervalued, but they do have good upside potential, and they may not be safe. These are going to be more of my aggressive plays. These are going to be more of my aggressive plays, but look at the earnings growth. These do all have positive earnings, growing their earnings in double digits. I love that. Great upside. They are going to give up a little bit of safety, and they may not all be undervalued. Like clean energy is not undervalued, but the rest are. So these are my growth plays. These are my growth plays. Let's go take a look at them. Because they're shorter term or more aggressive, I'm going to put these on a 1-month graph. Wow, WTI again. I own this. I own this stock. I love the way it's moving. And it's cheap. It's a cheap oil play. It's a cheap oil play. Let's go to the next one. Another petroleum, bottom left, top right, right at the 1-month highs. I'd be a little leery about the volume. It's bouncing all over the place. Now, I do like CLNE that it's bounced off support. The 3.8 just crossed. I'd really like to see it take out that 1-month high. Wow. Leisure service, One Spa World. Look at that. Bottom left, top right. more of a growth or aggressive play. Wow, Dole. Look at that nice open candle today. I'd like to see more volume. RT just went above 1, so it's in an uptrend. I do like that. And last but not least, REIT Mortgage, MITT, right at the 1-month high. Nicely open candles. Even on the pullback to 388 held, watch the volume. All right, so those are my growth plays. And last but not least, I got a featured watch list of several different EV companies reporting earnings this week. All right, prior to their earnings being reported, a lot of these are moving up. I'm on the wrong dang on thing. I'm looking at dag nabbit. There's the stream. There we go. All right, well, now I'm streaming. Now the majority of them are down before the earnings come out. I would say keep your eyes on these. The demand for electric vehicles is growing, but the biggest thing for me is when the rubber meets the road, can they deliver on the product? All right. Again, if you guys really liked the idea of me putting in the value and growth plays, and I'll keep doing that every week, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You can hit the subscribe button if you want. But I'm trying to make this more about the things that you want to see. More about the things that you want to see. And I think that, having the growth plays, having the value plays on a weekly basis will put in your hands, stuff to look at. As well as for those that are looking for the short term, I've got my speculative plays for you every week. Joey, put me on my last one. That's what it's all about. I want to make sure that when you come here and you spend a little time with me, that you're walking away with something. Not that you just watch my pretty face talk on the screen. All right. I want to educate you and I want to give you ideas of what to look for, but I want to give you an understanding about what's going on so that you're not haphazardly going after stuff. So that's what it's all about. Glenn, please comment on Cleveland Cliff, vicious downtrend before earnings. Joey, put me back in the software. Let's go look at CLFD. Oops. CLFD. Oh, Joey. Sigh.
Well, you have to stop typing if you want me to change it.
CLF. Stop yelling. All right. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, there it is. Cleveland Cliff. Ooh. You know something? Where's the earnings? There's the earnings. Put this on a 6-month. You know something? I don't like it. I don't like it right now. The big pullback. I don't know what's pulling it back right now. I'm not. Oh, Cliff. CLF. Sorry, my fault. Are you done? Sorry. It's my mouse. CLF. All right. CLF. My fault. All right. Let's go put that on a 3-month graph. It's in a downtrend. All right. Let's go look at earnings on this. Let's go put this on a 6-month graph. Earnings already came out. But if I'm looking at a 6-month graph, that tells me the story. All right, so what's there to explain? That's the trend of the stock. And each time it rebounds to that downtrend line, right? It rebounds to that downtrend line each and every time. Do you want to sit and put yourself in that situation? Earnings hit, looks like it went up. Earnings hit, looks like it went down. I'm not feeling this when I can look at a 6-month graph and see that it's in a downtrend. All right. If you bought a put on Apple, how far would you go out? AAPL, and PAGP. If I'm looking at Apple, how far down would I go? At least to this low. This is on the 6-month graph. I'd go at least to this low, 129.04. All right. If I want to buy out of the money and it keeps going down, I'll buy it cheap. And if it goes down, I'm happy. But if I'm looking for a floor, that's my floor on Apple right now is about 129. And the last stock I'm going to look at before we go is PAGP. Earnings hit. It's moving up. It's at a 6-month high. Nice run up here. Nice run up here. I think that I don't know where my level is going to be, where it's going to stop, but it looks like every time it goes up, it finds a level of resistance. It did a double top here before it fell. I like the stock moving. Where's the earnings? Earnings per share, rising earnings. I like the stock. It's another petroleum stock too. I like the stock. All right. Now you can put me on the last. Now, I actually looked at a couple of stocks for you guys. That was outside of what I was going to do. Kept me here a little longer. All right. So Jake, hopefully I gave you what you needed on Apple. All right. How many likes did we get? I'm looking for 5 more likes. If we can get up to 100 likes, it'd be great. Especially sing out loud. I'm not singing. I'm still not singing. Let's see if we get up to 100 likes before I go. If the information that I gave to you was worth your time to be here, hit that like button. That's all I got to say. Hit it. If we get there, we do. If we don't, we don't. All right. I think we're going to make a determination this afternoon whether or not we're going to still have midday market on next Monday. Because again, I will not be here, and maybe if Patrick has it in his schedule to fill it, he can. If not, there may not be a midday market next week. It may not be midday market next week. So then Joey doesn't have to deal with me next week. I know he's gonna miss that. He's definitely gonna miss that. Shout out from a fellow DJ. There you go, DJ Sanctus. There you go. Follow me. Go look for DJ G Sharp on Facebook, bro. We can follow each other. DJ G Sharp on Facebook. We can follow each other. I'm all about supporting a fellow DJ. Absolutely. You got 11 on YouTube? I got 112. I got it. We did it. Outstanding. Thank you guys for that. You know I love you guys. And I appreciate you letting me know that it's worth your time to be here. All right? I do appreciate that. Thank you both, Lee and Bill. All right. With that, I'm going to sign off. I will see you guys. I have tomorrow's video, so I'll have the 6 p.m. video. Then Patrick and I will be here on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, at 2 o'clock. And then I will have you for Trending Thursday at 2 o'clock on Thursday. And remember, tomorrow at 12 p.m. and on Friday at 12 p.m., don't forget to support Trading for Charity with Patrick. All right, folks. With that being said, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Still praying for those peeps in Florida and Puerto Rico. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks. See ya.